Fine, I'm ready.
All right. We are now live, so don't say anything you don't want everybody to hear. And the numbers are rapidly growing as people are connecting and live. And I went ahead and opened my chat screen. So if you want to go ahead and open yours as well, so then everyone will be able, you'll be able to see anything that people are chatting in for us.
Oh, there we go.
Hi, Robin. We also are recording as of right now, just, you know, FYI. That was mainly for my benefit, so I don't say anything I don't want people to hear. Hi, Trisha, glad you could make it. So close to 1 o'clock. All right, it is exactly 1 o'clock. We are live and broadcasting and recording our second RTO Virtual Roundtable. We had great success last week, a lot of great feedback and a lot of great questions. So I urge everyone to open your chat side of Zoom and type in questions as we're having conversations. So we can get as much out of this session as we possibly can. Again, my name is Sherry Bailey. I am the Vice President of Connect Travel. And a little bit of history. We did our first roundtable last week. We wanted to create a way that we could stay engaged, learn a little bit more from each other. And so we maybe have a step up when we come out of this and we start the recovery process. This is a very casual interaction. This is a conversation. Please use the chat bar and ask questions so we can get all of those answers and pick our panelists' brain. Speaking of that, I will introduce our panelists this week. Jack Lok, who is an advisor for Universal Vision. Jack, thank you for being here.
Hi. Well, I'm delighted to be here.
Thank you so much. Charles Zhao, Managing Director of CP Trip Service Incorporated. Charles, I know you're up in Toronto and it's a little bit cooler than it is right here, but we appreciate you for being on the call as well.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Hi, everyone.
Tresie Benoit is the Director of Contracting for North America from World2Meet. Good to see you, my friend.
Thank you, Shari. Thank you for having me.
And Theresa Reis is the President of Personal RGE Tours and has lots to tell us about Latin America, I'm sure. So Teresa, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
And I would be remiss not to mention touroperatorland.com. They are the official sponsor of our webinar today. So I know that, that Betsy is out there on chat. Betsy, thank you. And thank you for Tour Operator Land for sponsoring this so we can keep doing them. We're gonna go ahead and jump right in. And I'd like to start, as I did last week, with the panelists explaining what their markets are, introducing themselves, saying a little bit about the company and what your top markets are that you work with. So Tresie, let's go ahead and start with you.
Okay, so I'm Tresie Benoit with World2Meet. I'm the Director of Contracting for North America. World2Meet actually is 100% owned by the Iberostar or the Iberostar Hotel Group, a hotel group based in Spain, a family-owned business. The family owns about 120 hotels, mostly in the Mediterranean, Caribbean, Mexico, and mostly all inclusive products. World2Meet is the travel company side of the business with several DMCs in different locations, and then also the bed bank division. We started trading in the United States in October 2016 and have been growing rapidly. And right now, we would say that most of the clients that come to visit the United States are coming from Europe, mainly from Spain, Portugal, but also UK, Germany is rapidly growing. And we are very strong also in South America. We do see a lot of business also coming from Middle East, Far East. We have an office in Dubai that is pure commercial. So we see a lot of efforts coming from the Dubai office to bring business to the United States. So that's World2Meet.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Charles, tell us a little bit about your company and markets.
Yeah, our company called CP Trip Service, and we are based in Toronto, Canada. And we are in business for now 12 years and strictly doing inbound to North America from mostly Asian market, and especially the Southeast Asian region, such as the Philippines, and also a great emerging market from Vietnam. We see a great number of increase in the most recent years, as well as, of course, China, which is one of the largest outbound market from China. And we also own and operate a fleet of 9 tour buses, like a medium-sized, from those like a 29-seat down to the like a 12-seat Mercedes Sprinter vans. And we have tour guides speaking major different languages of Asian, like Vietnamese, Indonesian, and also English. And prior to that, I worked in the hotel industry in Toronto for 10 years, in all major hotels as the sales manager or up to director of sales, such as a Starwood at the time, and Intercontinental, Novotel, Radisson. So I've been, with the hotel and also with the tour operator side on both sides.
So you'll have a lot of good insights for us, I'm sure. Thank you so much. Teresa.
Hi, I'm Theresa Reeds. I'm the president of Personal RGE Tours. We are located in Orlando, Florida. I started this business 30 years ago, and we cater mostly to Latin America, especially Brazil, Portugal, and Spain. We are wholesalers for Disney, and we are also contracted with hotels all over the US. We do FITs, we do groups, all kinds of special groups, agricultural, cultural, sports events, and you name it.
A little bit of everything. That's
Yes.
what miscellaneous duties as required on all of our resumes, right? All of our job descriptions. Awesome. Teresa, thank you so much for being here.
Okay.
And Jack, tell us a little bit about what you have going on.
Well, yes, I'm the advisor for Universal Vision Group. Universal Vision is part of the C-Trip in China, and the operations is basically cover most of the United States. We have operations team from Seattle to Chicago, Boston, New York, and Washington, Miami, Orlando, Houston, Dallas, and also in San Francisco, Los Angeles. We are working closely with the Sea Gulf Holiday, and so they also acquired by C-Trip. So we basically cover the whole North America, and combined with both operations, we receive over 500,000 visitors, mostly from China, to United States, as well as from India. So that basically is the operations. We expanded into now to South America as well, especially Mexico, around Cancun. Originally, before the COVID, the plan was to penetrate to South American market. So right now, because COVID, so that plan probably have to be on hold.
Speaking of plans being on hold, thank you, Jack, for that. But speaking of plans being on hold, how is everyone doing right now? Clearly we heard last week all things have stopped, and people are really trying to reschedule instead of cancel their trips. Are you seeing the same thing? How is business looking for you, Teresa?
Well, cancellations are the only requests that we are getting nowadays. We're not getting any new reservations, and I'm not expecting anything until the second semester, at least. So right now, we are trying to organize things, to prepare the company for what comes ahead. We know this is going to bounce back, and we know that we need to be prepared. And that's what we've been doing right now. My whole team is preparing for when we come back.
Wonderful. And I think when we talked yesterday, there was training. Your team was doing a lot of training, and you were able to keep all of your team, which is very promising.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I laid off just one person, and I'm keeping my whole team part-time. And something that we've been doing to keep them, educated, and also to educate our clients is to provide seminars. So we are partnering with Disney, and we are doing seminars for all our clients from Latin America and Portugal. At this point, that's what we've been doing. We've been putting together the seminars, putting together new products for next year, and contracting with the hotels.
Wonderful. Tresie, how are you spending your time right now? What is so many offices, such a vast amount of business you're doing? How do things look?
For me personally, nothing has changed a lot. I was already working from home. I have my home office already here for several years. So in that regard, it's for me business as usual. The offices that we have in Cancun, the office that we have in Spain, right now, they're all home-based. They're all set up to work from home. And I would say for my team here in the United States, it's probably we're busier than ever. Like Teresa said, we need to be prepared. So we're not only now also dealing with more daily operations with cancellations, following the protocol that the company put in place. So we're helping there. But in addition, yes, we need to do our jobs, the contracting, looking for what is coming next, that we are prepared, and that we see also that we do product development, that we get new hotels on board. So we're busy.
Wonderful. Busy is good, and it does everyone good to hear that you are contracting and looking for product for next year.
Definitely.
Charles, how are things with you right now? I know you had some incentive groups later in the year that don't look like they're going to materialize, but anything we can do to help reschedule that and make it more palatable for your clients?
Okay, many of our businesses are customized tours and the incentive travels from different companies, and especially we have the lot of pharmaceutical companies for the incentive organizing, let's say medical doctors, and obviously these people won't be able to travel at all. And interestingly, back in January and February of this year, inquiries come in quite strong. Like we have new requests for quotations on daily basis, like usually several a day. And we predict at the time, it's a great year. So even me and my business partner, we have put down a deposit to purchase another bus. And it's a luxury one, manufactured in a company close to Los Angeles. And we told them, they can deliver to us in early May, when all these groups were, coming to hit east part of Canada. And then hotel rates at that time were quite high everywhere. For example, in Banff, the Rocky Mountain, the Fairmont Hotel, likely, several $100s easily. And then many of the dates are sold out. It's so hard to get the space. Then, toward the end of February, everything happened. So we start to see a slowdown of the new inquiries, then the cancellation come in one by one. And even, let's say, just a few days ago, one group with 70 people scheduled to come in October has to cancel. People feel, uncertain, and especially we do not, know how many months it will take. Is that so for October ones? And they also request to cancel. So right now, we basically have nothing on the book for this year. Everything's got canceled.
So 2021, we're looking forward to 2021 for you.
Yeah, for sure that year will come.
Yes. So Jack, how is the majority of your business being from China? What does the rest of the year look like? Everything we heard last week on our call was that we expected China to come back first. So do you have any insight on that?
Well, the way we look at it, I don't think China's going to come back so quickly. The reason is because anything from overseas, there's a limitation by the flight. Now, all the international flight from US to China has been limited. Now, by the time China now is getting back to normal, however, US just started and Europe just started. So it takes about a couple of months to come down. And then they have to restart the international flight. Even when they restart the international flight, the capacity won't be that much. In other words, I don't think the airline ticket for the international portion will be cheap, will be very expensive. And we already see what happened right now. During this COVID-19, the international flight from US to China has been jumped double or triple. So we don't think under the analysts from the C-Trip, they already forecast the whole year it's not gonna come back strongly. So again, just like Charles, we're looking for 2021. However, with that being said, we're using this time to pretty much planning not only for next year, but we not only do inbound the Chinese market, we also do, people forget about the US Chinese American market. It's also like 5 or 6 million of them. So that is a very sizable market. And we've been serving that market for all this year. So what we see from China, same thing. Yesterday, they had the first organized tour. However, it's not going out of the country. It was just one-day tour, not even staying in the hotel, the first one. So it's very encouraging. New York, Washington, Texas, Houston offices, they're gonna start the one-day logo tour for the Chinese American first. And then it's just like, keep the staff have something to do. And when it's appropriate time, of course, right now, we don't think we can do anything. But when the situation lessened and when the home quarantine lifted, then those are the tours that we think is going to happen first. I don't think Americans going to rush out to jump on an airplane and go somewhere yet, okay? But like everybody else, right now we're concentrating to improve our the whole operations from the IT side to the management side, and then to create and prepare new products for the coming year. And I'm sure that this COVID-19 will change some of the product that people are looking for in a way. So we try to find the feel for it and then prepare for it.
And speaking on that, thank you, Jack. Speaking on that, and so I've heard each one of you say that you are looking for new product for 2021 or the end of this year. That Universal is starting basically a domestic day tour program that's growing out of this. How is the best way for all of the suppliers to get information to you? I mean, do you want that information right now? Should they email you directly? Is there another process on how they can provide you that information that you're looking for?
Right now.
Right now.
And to me, yes.
Teresa shaking her head right now.
Yes.
As well. Charles, do you feel the same?
I would say this is the best time because, for us, like every day, then nothing new coming in, and then, it's easy to get hold of us, I would say, and we have more, time to focus on what your future product will be. And especially, it's a perfect timing for the suppliers to host, maybe let's say through the Connect Travel, to do the virtual fan tours. We don't need to be physically there. However, we can do the Zoom meeting to learn about your product. Okay? You can do a virtual fan tour for the RTOs, and we got tons of time to do that.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, great idea. Yeah.
Yes,
I like
one of the DMO based out of the Montreal, they did a fantastic virtual fan, and they are very positive. And through me, they are also targeting the Chinese Canadian community. Like what Jack mentioned, in Toronto region, we have more than 700,000 living in this area. These are the people, like we at the beginning, we have just mentioned, the temperature is going up now, and we feel the spring is right at the corner. And people, they are eventually looking for some, short distance places to go. I 100% agree with what Jack said. These group of people might be the first to hit the domestic market within not only just Canada, but also in the US. There's, for them to travel to any of the destinations, it's so easy, they just drive. And then they, tend to drive as a family, instead of on a motor coach, let's say, people try to still remember social distancing. So smaller size group family tours might be, the first one to come back.
Absolutely.
And, we are helping quite a few DMOs to do the promotion among the Chinese Canadian community right now.
That's great. That's great information.
Yeah.
Jack, we had one question that came up. That first tour that went, that you were talking about, that first local tour that one of your offices did, we couldn't quite hear what city that was in. Could you share that again?
You mean the local tour we're going to
Yes,
start?
the first local tour that you did before everything got crazy.
Before everything got, we've been doing local tour all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've been doing local tour all the time. In fact, we started as a local tour company.
Wonderful.
So
Okay.
But what I'm saying is because right now Universal Vision have operation team, individual team that in Seattle, Chicago, Boston, New York, Washington, D.C., Orlando, Miami, and then Houston, Dallas. So they gonna all creating local tour. So our hoping is, because it's not just one day and everybody do it, because we have to see which one got lift the quarantine first.
Right, of course.
So,
of course.
but we have the product, we're working on the product, and the first will be just one day from different city, go around the area. So, any attractions, DMOs, this is a perfect time to reach to Jason Song, our VP for marketing. I'm sure you have, you will share his information with everybody.
Yes, absolutely.
So and especially for the attractions or area that we wasn't paying too much attention before, because they are not the major attractions like Niagara Falls, or like Washington, D.C. It's like, along the Hudson River, that small town, small area. This is a great opportunity for them to position in. So when we started again, those will be the places that we're going to visit first.
That's wonderful. And that's a trend that we saw before everything started happening, was a beyond the gateway conversation. And it sounds like these types of tours are a wonderful opportunity for those destinations and attractions to get you and Jason information right away, and all of
That's
our
right.
panelists. We did have a question from Joe in Miami. Most hotels are closed right now. So what information can DMOs provide you that connect you with new products?
Is that question for me?
I think it's for everyone. Teresa, would you like to take a stab at that one? And then Tresie.
Okay.
Tracy goes first.
Okay, yeah. Well, that is indeed a little bit the challenge that we have, that the hotels are closed and lots of people have been furloughed. And we want to send out a message, but they're just not there. So I would say the CVBs, if they can help, usually we have the contact information. It's just a matter of sending the message to the right person, and then when that person picks up the message, that they can respond right away. We just cannot stop contacting people. We need to continue contacting them, and at some point they will pick up the message.
Wonderful. And I think that might be a good message for all of the DMOs out there. You know your destination better than anyone. And if there are hotels that are closed or furloughed employees, to be able to provide the correct contact to our panelists and all operators and RTOs out there to make sure they're getting the right information. Teresa, do you have something to share?
Can I share?
Yes.
Go ahead, Teresa. Teresa, then Charles.
Okay. What I was going to say, that even though most of the hotels are closed, the ones that we've been contacting, they left at least one person on the sales department working from home. So far, all the hotels that we were trying to connect, getting the contracts for 2021, they are responding to us, because, they, even if they are not sending the contracts, because what I can see now, a lot of people are waiting to see what's going to happen, if they are going to contract with a lower or a higher rate. But we were able at least to get some specials already. So even though the hotels are closed, the sales departments are still running from home.
Wonderful. And we just had a question come in. Some of the hotels and areas are feeling like it's not the right time to contract. So what can the destinations do to let them know this is the time that you're working on it? It's a crystal ball on when the international will pick up, but you are contracting for 2021. Anything that they can provide on your behalf that might push that hotel into more of a contracting role. And the second part of that is, after 9/11, after things that we've seen, hurricanes, oil spills for our part in the state of Florida, we saw a lot of incentives and value adds and promotions, going on at attractions and hotels. Is this something you're looking for now, or something you may be looking for, say, in June or July? And Charles, I know you had something to add to that.
Okay. Well, through my experience when doing the cancellation, and we found out, the particular sales manager we deal with, that person's not there for temporary or indefinite, a period. So at least, we need to have someone that we can get hold of, especially for customized tours. We don't contract whole year one rate. It's based on the inquiry and what are the cities they want to go to. Like just like in February, I remember, I approached Betsy for referrals going to the Yellowstone, let's say. So these are the inquiries coming out of Manila for a group of doctors. So they have very specific requirements or expectations. So last year, at the end of last year, December, we got groups going to like New York, Boston, based on the level of the hotels they're looking for or their budget, this and that. So it's all customized or incentives. And it's early for this type of business to receive next year's rate without, determining when the market will come back and how strong or how weak it will come back. Same like a 9/11 and during SARS, also in Toronto, I work in the hotel industry. Try to attract people to stay in hotel. One of the major hotels in Toronto downtown promote a $1 per night rate. Still, nobody go there at all because your well-being is more important. So it's hard to it's a supply demand. So it's hard to just to feed you one way, say, oh, this is our help. And also we do not know how soon or how slow the market will come back, and you can decide on your rates. My feeling is that when I worked, my final job was about 15 years ago in the hotel as the director of sales in a regular 3-star out of the downtown core. LL Tour at the time had those bus tours coming to Toronto. Our rate to you guys was like $58 Canadian. That's crazy, and even crazy is including breakfast for two. And market was desperate, and we call it put the heads on the beds. We just bring in people, to sell the rooms, and then look at, up to a few months ago, the market in many of the major cities in North America are very healthy. Average daily rates are very, reasonable or high, that reflect the dollar value and the healthy industry that we are in. And one concern for me, being also work at the hotel, was, we might feel desperate, or some of us, then they will dramatically drop the rates, try to attract occupancy, people come in. But you have to remember, different market, you have to analyze it. They're all different. So rather doing something so quick without a reasonable reason, I learned from Citra, let's say. Interestingly, Jack, I'm also a vendor in Canada for Citra. Yeah,
okay.
This week, their people approach us, ask us to provide who are our star tour guides. And they would like to interview them over the WeChat phone to make sure we have good people reserved. So when the market ready to come back, they will work with good companies. I enjoy that one. This is a good time to do trainings, upgrade our knowledge or skills, this and that. And just 1 week prior to Toronto announced the lockdown, this and that, our company, we hired a trainer to provide the soft skill training, like communication skill, problem solving for all of our bus drivers and the tour guides and office people. It's a 2-day training. People enjoy that. They don't, because our job is to deal with people. It's a people communication type of job.
Wonderful. So it sounds like on the contracting question, you know, it's going off of past rates, and we don't have a crystal ball, so we can't really share any information on when the market will pick up, but we do know that it will, and we do know that after past tragedies and things that have happened worldwide, that the leisure tourism market is one of the first to rebound. So I hope that helps and answers your question just a tad. Yes, Tresie.
Yeah, just to share some information on this, and myself being European and working with the European market, traveling is in their genes. And now especially that they're all locked down and they're sitting at home, they're watching everywhere, dreaming where they're gonna go next on vacations. Actually, I was reading an article this morning that the UK, people in UK, there was a hit of 1,600% more than last year to travel to Spain as soon as that they can get out of their houses. So people are looking, they're gonna be so ready to travel. And that's why we have to have not only 2020 good offers in place, but people that will not be able to travel in 2020 due to maybe a financial reduction or not having the financial possibility, they will travel in 2021. So that is why we need these 2021 agreements, that we have the hotels ready to take the bookings for 2021.
Wonderful. So you can see over on our Zoom chat, we have several DMOs that are saying, please work with us and tell us how we can help you train. And I found it really interesting, Teresa. Last week, the training conversations we had were about training staff members. You're talking about training your clients.
Oh yeah, that's what we're doing.
So I think all of our suppliers are going to sit up straighter and say, how can we be involved in that? How can we not only train your team, but also provide information when you are training clients about destinations, hotels, attractions? Is that something that you're open to? And all of our clients, especially, I know our DMOs are jumping on that. I was a DMO myself. You know, how do we get that information to you to train about the destination?
Yes, that's what I was talking to you last week. We partnered with Disney to do the seminars, and we are trying to put together something very similar with Universal. But in the same token, I'm willing to work with the CVBs from other places in order to promote, not only to promote the destination, but most importantly, to educate our clients for the destination. We understand that our clients overseas, not that they lack information, they are thirsty for more information. Mm-hmm. And that's where I'm going to try to see if I can put together some seminars and webinars with some of the CVBs to help out promoting the destination. That's my second step. After, you know,
wonderful.
We don't need to overflow our clients with webinars, but that's what we are trying to do. At least once every 10 days, we are going to try to see if we can have one destination broadcasting whatever they have to offer to our clients.
You just made all of our CVBs on this call. You made all of our DMOs very happy right now. We started talking a little bit about clients. I'm gonna switch to clients for a minute. You're keeping your clients trained. Charles, what are you hearing from your tour operator clients? Or Jack, you know, jump in. How is their level right now? I'm sure that they're going through rescheduling just like you are. What can you tell us about what you're hearing from them?
Mm-hmm. Okay, for our business, whenever the request for cancellation coming in, we also considered as first priority, and we get it done. And it's always, our company philosophy is whatever the new inquiries or requests for quotations, we reply the same day back to them, because then we got to consider there are like 12-hour differences in Asian countries. So in the past 12 years, that's our mandate, a same-day response. It doesn't matter it's a new booking or it's a new cancellation. So I don't want them to wait. So this also related to the suppliers like hotels or attractions that we have booked already. So we also look for instant reply from the suppliers at the same time. So I can, at the end of the day, before 5 p.m., send out one email saying, yes, cancel without penalty and keep safe and healthy. Is that? So these are the way to respect our clients and to make their life a little bit easier. We also know from their end, it's also a not easy job because they are facing their end users. And don't ask questions why you cancel. I do have one hotel ask that particular question. All I need is just typing COVID in letters, So you don't need to ask, that type of question. As a tour operator, we don't want to cancel business.
Right.
It's against our will. And then this is the time we all know what's the reason behind it. So let's do it effectively. And then, that's also a good way to be connected with my tour operators based in, those countries, those destinations. And going further back to what Teresa has mentioned, a good point is, DMOs, let's say, if you like to do one promo together with me to my clients, I'd rather do, let's say, one page, not too complicated, not to educate them about the update of the COVID-19, That's way too much. It's one page with your logo, my logo on that to help people to keep safe and remember, let's say, Miami, come back. Like we did New York last year, come back. Something like this. I just throw in my idea.
Okay, so like a one-page newsletter type information. As soon as we talked about joint trainings, New Orleans and Memphis were on questions right away, and Miami. Yeah. Does a PowerPoint work better for you? Does a video work better for you?
Yeah, a few pages of PowerPoint, but don't too much. Like I'm pretty much sure everyone here, you also receive different emails every day. Most of the time, there's nothing else we need to pay attention to. I just delete. Is that? So, provide something unique and to the point. This is the time people are considering more their family members, once a week going out to do a grocery shopping, and people are more focused on that side. It's more on the well-being side.
Absolutely.
Yeah, show your care. Is that to the clients, to our mutual clients?
Yes. So Jack, I'm gonna pull you in here for a Chinese question that just came up, and it's about U.S.-China relations. Do you think that is having an effect on, or will have an effect in the fall on their quickness to come back and travel to the U.S. or to North America?
This is kind of political questions. However, we've been through the trade war. It's already have affected the travel business, as you know, because the visa restrictions for many students. So a couple of years ago, sorry, I just got caught. Before we were doing roughly about 5,000 students coming to the US for study travel. Because of the trade war issue, the visa issue, that number has significantly decreased. The Chinese and the American supposed to be very friendly with each other. It's very important. However, with this climate right here, it really depends. If the relationship doesn't get too bad, then I see it kind of improving. It will be improved. However, like the COVID case, my worry is I keep hearing people now blaming China as the cause for the COVID. Hopefully, that voice is not too loud.
Correct.
Otherwise, yeah, it will strain the relationship more. Yeah, that's what I try to say. Hopefully the relationship kind of improve, and China will not become a scapegoat for the COVID-19. But I'm a optimistic guy, so I think yeah, it will come back. That's why we started as a logo first.
Right.
The logo tour.
And
we don't wait until the relationship improve. We literally, because majority of the people cannot tell when the group go out whether they're from China or they're from the local Chinese community. So they will be the ambassador going out, spread the message. We come back to help the local economy. We are the ambassadors.
Absolutely, and I think that
will help.
Yeah, your message and Charles's message of this is a time to support each other, and continue that relationship with all of our clients on the mainland of China and all of our receptive clients here on the U.S. side. So that, I think that's a great message of just unity and communication. One of the questions from Dallas came through as back on the training. Can they provide you an interactive link for their training programs? We've talked about PowerPoint, we've talked about video, but also making sure that that they have a link that's ready to use. Would that work in the training purposes that you're using right now?
Yes, that's the seminars we are doing already. First, they have the presentation, and like here that you have a way to send questions. The same thing happens on our webinars. People are able to send questions, and we are being able to answer the questions. We have to limit the number of questions because otherwise the webinars would take 4 or 5 hours, but we are trying to respond as many questions as we can by the end of the seminar. So it's something interactive. It's not just like a PowerPoint presentation.
Wonderful. So we've talked quite a bit about how the industry partners can help you. I heard a couple of comments that you receive a ton of email information. So maybe what are partners, what are your DMOs and hoteliers, what are your partners doing that may not be the best for you right now? Or might I say that drive you a little crazy right now? Are they providing you too much information? Or let us, this is your time to let people know the best way to interact with you. And maybe you don't want an email every week, or said how is the best way? What are we doing that's driving you crazy right now?
Well, we have a lot of time in our hands. To be honest with you, I'm welcoming any kind of emails with information, because sometimes you think there is nothing to be added, and then there is a little information in the scope of the email that you're going to be able to pass it on to your clients and enrich the experience of your client next time they visit that destination. So to be honest with you, with all the time that I have in my hands right now, keep the emails coming.
Yes,
that's right.
Yes,
I agree with that. Let them come. Let them come.
That's awesome.
I think what is more driving us crazy is not getting any response, because right now the frustration is that some people are not working, some people don't have access, they're furloughed. So we would love to have more information from hotels, but the people are just not there. So that is probably more challenging than getting bombarded with emails.
Yeah, my point is, because the nature of our business are mostly customized tours, so the request has already been quite specific. And a lot of time, again, 100% agree with what Tresie say, a quick response or same day response as a courtesy, not just before the COVID or after COVID always, because I don't want my clients to wait. Then they think, oh, since no response, then I eliminate, let's say, Toronto, I move to Miami as a destination. I go with another company, they can do that, is that? So especially for incentive groups, they have to make a decision by their end user, the company, to pick which place they want to go. And then also sometimes a little bit frustrated is, the DMO people might say, oh, all these information are on our official website. Check it yourself. You have too many information on that. It will take me hours to figure out, especially some of the destinations that I have never been to. I have to guesstimate. Oh, maybe today stay in this location, tomorrow probably in another small town of your state, this and that. So that make our life a little bit hard, to do that, because we don't know, your local people know better than, us, how, what is a smooth itinerary will be. And then also for us, hotels that say, they will tell me, oh, you only have less than 10 rooms. You just call our reservation department. They give you whatever the best rate of the day. Got to remember we are RTOs. We also rely on a package price to, make our profit. So if we call your reservations for the whatever the best selling rate or bar rate, the hotel people call it BAR, then we lose our motivation, I would say. Is that so? I know like a hotel sales, it's a rule that 10 rooms under won't be considered as a group by many of the sales department. While working hotel the same way, I told my clients in the past. Now sitting on the other side of the table, I fully understand, especially now going through this difficult time. Our feeling is there might be more smaller group coming out instead of large ones. There might be like a family travels. People don't want to sit with other 50 people. They want to be a little bit distancing. Is that so? My company, our focus is on the medium size or small size buses. That's the reason. I have a bus with 29 seats. I might put in 10 people. They also feel, comfortable in that way. So you might hear more smaller groups with 5 rooms, 6 rooms, or up to 9. So if we keep on getting denied, say, oh yeah, not my business, you just go, call the reservations or go to our website to see what's the rate. It's hard for us also. So we hope, we can understand each other better through this seminar, and then, help each other to bring back more business, more good.
And that's very well said, Charles. And that's a great last thought. Tresie, we have about 8 minutes before we're going to wrap up. Do you have any last minute thoughts to share with the panelists?
It's also what Charles says, that people are going to look to travel to safer places, and they need to be feel good. And in that regard, also, they will be looking at clean places. So for hotels, maybe a good message is to send out how clean the hotel is, what their scrub down policies are, that they will have a clean room. People will look at that and for the clean and safe places.
Wonderful. And Jack, do you have any last thoughts before we wrap up?
Well, just like Charles said, this is such an event that we never faced before. It cannot take ordinary solution. It has to be very innovative solutions. That's something that not what we do normally to resuscitate the travel. So I think like all the DMO has to bring out the message to all the attractions, hotels, and everybody has to be innovative, accommodating, working together, hand in hand to resuscitate the travel, whether domestic, international. So out of the box thinking, that's how we're going to do it. We cannot just do normally, oh, you don't have 20 rooms, I cannot give you the group rates and that kind of thing. So
a little more lenient on things. Very, very nice message. Couldn't agree more. And Teresa, any last minute thoughts?
Well, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. You know, we don't know how long this is going to last. At least I can assure you that my team and my clients are going to get the information necessary. Come back to normal bookings and activities, they at least will have the information and resources that they will need, you know, to put their package together.
Wonderful. Well, I promised our panelists that we would stay at an hour. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up. All of our participants on the phone, thank you so much for logging in, for being with us, for listening to some of the things going on. Lots of great questions, things that pop out of my mind that I wrote down as I was hearing them. Training is number one right now, education, making sure that we're keeping everyone up to date on what's happening at our hotel, in our destination, at our attraction. But to Charles's point, make sure you gather all of that information and provide it, not just a link to a website, to make sure that it's easy for them to filter through. Working together and communicating with each other sounds like what we're going to be doing for a very long time, which is why we put these types of virtual roundtables together and why we want to keep doing them. So we will be doing one every Thursday at 1 o'clock for the next month. You can see, we will be sending that information out to you. Next Thursday, we're going to focus on international tour operators. So all of our panelist clients, and see what they have to say. The 16th of April, we will be really excited about this one. We're going to hear from some airports and some route developers on kind of what's going on in their world right now. They're working very long days to try and fix this puzzle that is air service right now. So it'll be interesting to hear from them. And on the 23rd, we're going to focus our attention on domestic tour operators and kind of see what they're going through. We've learned from our receptives that work internationally and now domestically, international operators, route developers, and domestic tour operators. So we hope you will continue to join us. And these things do not work unless our panelists are willing to put themselves out there and answer questions on a dime. So thank you again very, very much for being with us and sharing your insights. We will provide everyone the panelists information for you to stay in touch with. And this webinar is recorded. So we will have an on-demand copy of this that you can share with your partners. And we'll live live on our YouTube channel. So we'll be sure to send those links out to you as well. Thank you so much for being here. And I look forward to next week. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Bye.
Okay.